Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, May 7th. Well, it looks like a relatively quiet week for the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll have a decent start to the week today. Partly sunny skies, a little bit of instability in the atmosphere due to the chilly air mass we have overhead. Once the sun comes out for a couple of hours this morning and into the midday hours, it'll act to destabilize the atmosphere a little bit with the cool air in the upper part of the atmosphere. And the result will be some clouds this afternoon, maybe even a scattered shower or two late in the day, early tonight in the I-95 corridor region. A little better weather on Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, and a little bit warmer on Wednesday, but a cold frontal system will come late in the day Thursday night, probably with a round of showers, maybe even an embedded thunderstorm or two. But again, all in all, a relatively quiet week. I thought before we get to the local weather situation, we'd take a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. June 1st is rapidly approaching. That's the official start to the Atlantic Basin tropical season. And one of the main factors we talked about in our tropical outlook was La Nina conditions here in the equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. Colder than normal sea surface temperatures still exist. There are indications, however, that there's warmer than normal water just below the surface that it won't take much to bring that up to the surface over the next couple of months. Again, lots of computer forecast models transition this La Nina to El Nino, warmer than normal sea surface temperatures over the next couple of months. We'll continue to monitor that because that'll play a big role in the Atlantic Basin tropical season. Also, still a little area here of below normal temperatures off the west coast of Africa right here. That's important for the Atlantic tropical season because that's a breeding ground region for the waves that come off the African west coast and move from the east to the west in the trade winds like this. And if it's colder than normal here, that can inhibit tropical storm formation or tropical storm intensification in the tropical part of the Atlantic. Still, many areas in the western Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean Sea are warmer than normal. That is an important factor as well. That can contribute to some homegrown hits, systems that do not form off the African west coast, but rather form closer to home here and can have an impact, especially late in the season in the southern and eastern U.S. Well, one other thing we can make an update on before we get to the local weather situation is the tornado count for the year 2018. We had several tornadoes last week, especially in the southern and central plains, but still, the season so far is below normal. Here's where we sit right now as of May 6th, 315 preliminary reports of tornadoes here. This is relative to other recent years, and you can see for the most part, we're at or below most recent years. In fact, the average in the 2005 to 2015 period was about 549 tornadoes at this stage of the year, early part of May. So we're well below normal there, and it should be a relatively quiet week, not only here in the Mid-Atlantic region, but also in the Central Plains with not too many chances for severe weather. So it looks like we'll stay below normal in terms of tornadoes for at least through the next several days. Well, let's now walk through last night's 6E GFS model run. And relatively quiet week here. We have high pressure to the north. And again, just as during the winter, anytime high pressure sits to the north, tends to be a cooler than normal air mass for this part of the country. And that chill in the atmosphere will cause some instability. The GFS putting out some showers here, especially north and west of the big cities later this afternoon into the early part of the evening. Again, a little bit of destabilization will occur as the sun comes up, warms the lower part of the atmosphere. Meanwhile, the upper part of the atmosphere still cooler than normal for this time of the year. Let's move forward here. Same sort of thing happens tomorrow. A little bit of instability later in the afternoon, especially in the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region. High temperatures not that far from normal, maybe a tad below normal here in the I-95 corridor. But again, high pressure sitting to the north here as we go into midweek. Then on midweek, that high pressure system pushes off the coast. We'll get a little bit warmer Wednesday afternoon in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. High temperatures likely well up in the 70s on Wednesday. Low pressure stays off the coast, does not impact the I-95 corridor. And here's that cold frontal system as of Wednesday afternoon, and it continues to move eastward. Here a band of showers, maybe a few thunderstorms as well. By the time we get into Thursday afternoon, we'll be looking just to the west for those showers, and again, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. Notice across southeastern Canada how cold this air mass is. A lot of snow, even some accumulating snow up across southeastern Canada associated with this next cold blast. Again, high pressure pushes to the north here, and so we'll clear out on Friday, but certainly won't be anything very warm with high pressure sitting to the north. Looks like we will not get well up in the 80s like we did last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with a lot of high pressure sitting to the north of the Mid-Atlantic region this week. All in all, relatively quiet week. We'll look at that cold frontal passage late Thursday night. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.